Hello everyone! I am the Crimson Cadaverous and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you haven't already been following me on Facebook and Instagram, I'm a tarot card reader, candle maker, and witch, and I make full moon and new moon videos using tarot for guidance and exercises and rituals for personal growth. This particular full moon we're moving into peaks on May 26th at 6:12 a.m. Central Time, and it's in the sign of Sagittarius, which is the free-spirited adventurer of the zodiac. So this is going to be some really fun energy to work with because we're going into a very, very powerful full moon indeed. This full moon is also a total lunar eclipse, which means change and shifting realities. And it's also a supermoon, which means it's going to be closer to the Earth than most full moons. So lots and lots of powerful energy to work with. So it's really wonderful that it's in Sagittarius because Sagittarius is all about going with the flow. And on some level, we're all going to need to go with the flow during this full moon because there's going to be a lot of shifts. There's going to be a lot of powerful energy. And I'd imagine you've probably already been feeling that powerful energy. I know I have, probably since about 2 weeks ago during the Taurus new moon. So been a lot of powerful energy, and I'm really excited to see what peaks during this full moon. Sagittarius is all about curiosity and independence and travel and compassion and honesty. And those are all things to keep in mind as we're working with this full moon energy. As I've said, I like to pull cards from my tarot, which is the Wonderland tarot, which of course uses Alice in Wonderland imagery in the tarot. And that's already a fun, whimsical energy to work with in that tarot. So I think it's definitely perfect for this Sagittarius full moon. So I pulled some cards here that we're going to talk about, but I'm also going to put those cards here in case you'd like to pause the video, zoom in, and meditate on the powerful imagery that you see. Again, it's some really fun imagery because we're using the Wonderland. And I definitely suggest doing that. That definitely helps you, meditate on what we're talking about with the cards. So the first card that I've pulled is Temperance. And Temperance is actually the card that corresponds to Sagittarius in Zodiac. And Temperance is all about finding the middle path and balance and patience, which may seem a little counterintuitive when we're working with the Sagittarius energy, because Sagittarius is kind of the wild child. They're always out doing crazy things. But the thing that you got to understand about Sagittarius is they can go out and party at night and get up and go to work the next day like nothing happens. Maybe the rest of us can't keep up with that crazy energy, but they're somehow able to find that balance. So I really do think Temperance is the perfect card for Sagittarius. I've also pulled the Fool, which is definitely the card I always think about when I think about Sagittarius, because the Fool's all about exuberance and fresh starts and just kind of going for it. The Fool is the first card in the major arcana, so it does represent new beginnings. So when you think about all this crazy energy that we're going into, on some level, it's going to shift some things for us, but it's going to give us the opportunity for a fresh start and a new beginning. So keep that in mind when you're working with this energy. It may get a little chaotic, but this is kind of a clean slate for you as well. And actually, the exercise that we're going to work on after this is about clearing baggage. So seems to all kind of fit here with the Fool and the new beginnings. Gotta clear things out so we have space for something new. I also pulled the Knight of Peppermills. And the Knight of Peppermills is this fiery, passionate knight that's just gonna rush into battle. He's not gonna ask questions. He's not gonna worry if he's gonna get hurt. He's just gonna go for it as well. So think about that knight when you're working with all this powerful, chaotic energy. He's just rushing into battle, and maybe on some level that's what we need to do as well. Keep in mind Temperance, of course. Try and keep your patience and middle path. But definitely, sometimes it's okay to rush into battle. Sometimes it's okay to be passionate about things and impetuous. And definitely the Knight of Peppermills is all about being impetuous. So as I've said, I put an exercise together for us to help us work with this full moon energy. And I want to kind of set the scene for you before we talk about the exercise. So imagine you're about to go on a trip around the world, the biggest adventure you've ever taken. You're going to see a whole bunch of different countries, but your first step is to go to the airport and get on a plane so you can go to your first destination. But imagine you're that person who carries around too much baggage at the airport. We've all seen that person, they've got 2 different rolly suitcases that they're dragging behind them. They've got a laptop bag, they're trying to carry on a backpack, and maybe they've got a purse as well or some other kind of bag, and they're struggling the whole time. They're trying to rush to this flight because they're late, and they're trying to get there on time, but they're trying to pull that bag behind them, the wheel gets stuck in something, they drop, their laptop bag and they've got to pick it up. And you know what, that person, they're not going to make their flight because they're carrying around too much baggage. And think about that imagery when we're doing this exercise, because going into this full moons are all about release and rebirth anyways, but this one, it's got so much more amplified energy to it that this is a time that we really do want a clean slate, and we don't want to be carrying around our baggage because it's going to keep us from going on our adventure. And, who would want that? If you're going to go on an adventure around the world, if you miss your flight, you just missed your adventure. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of paper and I've divided it into several different categories. I've got 4 personally. And we're going to talk about all these different areas in our life that we could be carrying around baggage that is holding us back. So the first one that I have is possessions. And our tangible possessions are the most obvious pieces of baggage that we could be carrying around. So think about all the things that you have in your home, in your car, that you just don't need. It's been sitting there and it's staring at you and you keep saying, oh, I'm going to go donate this, or I'm going to give it to somebody. This is that time to do it. Get rid of those things you don't need. Donate it to people who do need it. And the more stuff that you give away, you're going to find you're going to feel lighter. You're going to feel, again, like you don't have as much baggage that you're dragging around. So think about all the things that you can get rid of that you're not using and get rid of them. And another area that I have here is relationships. So relationships are complicated, but sometimes they can hold us back. Think about the relationships that are holding you back in your life and see if you can release them. Think about the way that you approach relationships and see if you can release that so that you can be a little more productive with your relationships. And next we want to think about thoughts. Think about the thoughts that are holding us back. Think about the thoughts that feel like baggage to us. That repeating thought that just keeps going through your mind, but there's nothing productive about it. It doesn't go anywhere. What can you do to release those thoughts so that baggage can go away and you can move on? And next are emotions. What are you feeling that isn't productive? What are you feeling that's holding you back? Write that down, and all of these things we should be working on at least over the next week. This definitely isn't stuff that, you're going to take care of over one day. That would be nice, but you're kind of looking at your whole life here. So, you got to take some time with this, and we've got really, really powerful energy that we're working with this full moon. So we have some time to really work on releasing that baggage and making sure that we have that clean slate and that space and the lightness about us so that we can go on our adventure, because life is an adventure. And, we want to be ready for it. We don't want to be carrying around a whole bunch of baggage so that we miss the flight that takes us on our adventure. So if you've made it this far, I really, really want to thank you for watching this video. This is actually the first video that I've put together for my YouTube channel, first of many, I'm sure. So again, I mentioned my Facebook and my Instagram at the beginning of this video. I would love if you followed me on both of them. I'm going to put a link for both in my descriptions. And if you've noticed, I've actually pulled some candles together, and these are candles that I make. They're meditation candles that I make, and if that's something that interests you, I have a link for my Etsy store that you can purchase them. And if you have any questions for me, I'd really love it if you reached out to me. Again, I'm a tarot card reader. I would love to book a reading with you. Again, there's going to be a link for that in the description. But again, I really hope that you like this video. I hope that you subscribe. And I hope that you have a really wonderful full moon where you release your baggage and you step into the unknown, because that's what Sagittarius is all about, and that's what this powerful full moon is going to be about. But I want to thank you all for watching this video, and please feel free to reach out to me. Goodbye.